What's up, everybody? It's Pungence here on the Hermitcraft server. And I'm looking at this beautiful, beautiful ceiling. Whoop! Fell into the fountain. Yikes! Forgot that was there. Just looking at this ceiling. Corrales and I finished the roof. And I think it just looks fantastic. So we're going to spend this whole video looking out that window and talking. Psych! Just kidding. We ain't gonna do that. What we are going to do is, I'll show you. We're gonna go. Whoops, wrong side. We're gonna go over here. That's the thing. This is completely symmetrical all the way around. So I gotta get my bearings. But what we are going to do is we're gonna go over here. You can see that I already got started. I wanted to get the layout done at least. Okay. I think the last time I was on here, I moved the cow farm from way out there to, I think, right here. Right here. There's our cows. There's our friendly cows. So I thought having them here would allow them to grow and such while I'm over there at the palace building and stuff. So it looks like they've grown, so I think that worked because they're in the same chunk, but it's still kind of far and it looks ugly. Luckily for me, Spiky Sarge sent me a video response and he said, hey, check this out, and he showed me a very nice little cow farm thing I could make. So check out Spiky Sarge, good guy, for making this very nice design. It's gonna be all wood, and it just looks great. And I'm thinking maybe I'll, build it here, and maybe I'll make a little bridge from there to here. So I think it should be fun. And I don't do a lot of building and talking at the same time, so it's gonna be an experience. So bear with me, but we'll give it a try. So, anyway, guys, what I wanted to talk about today is kind of a unique subject, something you probably wouldn't expect me to talk about, but we're going to. I want to talk about parenting. And I laugh because I'm not married, I don't have any kids, and I'm going to be talking about parenting. Why am I talking about parenting, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. I just was thinking about it after I was watching a video of Schism, and he talked about a comment he got. Is that music too loud? Let's turn it down a little more. Talking about a comment he got, and it wasn't too bad, but whoops, wrong block. It wasn't too bad, but there we go. But it was just like, why say that? And you get a lot of comments like that when you put up YouTube videos. Why say that? See, guys, I don't do a lot of building. Let's see. Oh, yes. Yes. So, I don't know. I see things like that, and I see children nowadays just sometimes. Okay, now how did he? Would this work? I want to see something. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold your horses. That would work, but I don't think that's how he did it. I think it was just like that. Yeah, I think there was just planks at the bottom. We gonna have enough? No. We're gonna have to get more. That's fine. We got plenty of trees around. But every once in a while, I will see some kids, and they're not well behaved. And I'm not saying anybody watching this video is not well behaved. But I wanted to talk about parenting because there's a direct relationship between parenting and how children turn out and how they behave. You know, you can be the best parent in the world and have the worst behaving kids in the world. That's possible. Oh man, look at my armor. I gotta get armor at some point. This is still not gonna be enough. But well-behaved kids are more likely to have been raised by parents who did a good job. And, you know, you might ask, what gives me any reason to talk about parenting and for you to believe anything I say? Well, you don't have to believe anything I say. I've never done it, but I feel like I was parented well. I feel like I had very good parents, and I do feel like I know some things that would make make the parenting process a little better. So these are gonna go here, around here, yeah, like this. So anyway, the first thing, and I've heard a lot from people with experience too, but the first thing you gotta realize when you have kids is to Cilantro Gamer. Man, I don't know if I've ever seen Cilantro on before. Hey! But yeah, the first thing when you do have a child that you gotta think about is you gotta realize you're gonna have to put their needs above your own. That's just how it goes. It's the same thing in marriage. When you get married, you are sacrificing your wants and needs for someone else's. And it's a beautiful thing. It's not easy. Well, I guess I'll have to click to get out. Yeah, that's perfect. So they won't have pressure plates. Oh, what a great design. But yeah, it's the same thing in marriage. When you get married, you are putting your spouse's needs above your own. So, it sounds simple, but there are still, man, he did this in creative, so it was a little easier, but we'll see. But, a lot of people know this, but sometimes people get a little sidetracked as far as putting the child's needs above their own. And what I mean by that is, from what I've seen, it seems like the biggest thing is you just got to have a balance between love and discipline. That's how I'm going to say it. Oh boy, a little dark. Let's see if we'll survive. See, I've been on a bad streak of getting blown up by creepers, so let's just hope that doesn't happen. Okay, guys. I cut the recording, and wouldn't you know it, I got blown up by a creeper. Oh my goodness! I wish I recorded it. I cut the recording just because I wanted to talk to the guys for a minute, and then I got beat up by a freaking spider when I was doing the save file. I should have just exited out of the game. Served me right. But I got beat up by a spider, and then I got exploded, direct hit by a creeper. Oh man. Well, let's get some armor back on. I'm surprised that didn't blow those to smithereens. Let's get the sword in the right place before we get blasted. Oh man, we're getting slimes like crazy. Ah. Oh man. But this is a good place to get slime. But anyway, I gotta get back on track, back on topic. Where did that creeper come from? I don't know. But back on topic. Time to do some repairs. So, you gotta have the balance between love and discipline, and what I mean by that is you show too much affection and no discipline, there's going to be problems. Oh, great. Speaking of problems. But if there's no discipline for a child, the problem you run into is that they get away with whatever they want. And that's not good for kids. Because when kids just do whatever they want to with no consequences, they don't learn that in life, every action has a consequence. So you can't just, well, you could just do whatever you want. It just doesn't end well. But let's see. I feel like I've seen this in kids. Like I was dating a girl for a little while, and we used to watch like Super Nanny. I don't know if you've seen that show, but it's basically this Super Nanny. She comes into a house where these kids are just very rotten kids, really mean. They just beat up their hiding, are we? Jump it. They're just rude to their parents, disrespectful, do whatever they want, cause problems. And Super Nanny comes in. Oh no. I heard you. How'd you get there? Wow. I feel like this area is pretty well lit, but I guess not. Okay. Super Nanny comes in and she straightens the kids out. And a lot of times the parents just don't discipline them. And sometimes they discipline them too much and don't ever play with them or show them any love or affection. So it's just a problem. But I feel like from what I've seen, there's a moment when a kid will do something wrong or something that's on the verge of doing something wrong that's, disrespectful to their parents or something they shouldn't do, and they look up at their parents while they're doing it, kind of smiling to see how they're going to react. And if the parent just lets it go, then in their mind, they're just like, okay, all right, now I know I can do whatever I want and get away with it. So I feel like you gotta look out for that. And am I gonna be able to do this? Yeah. You gotta look out for that and catch them. Like if they act up, you gotta say, nope, that's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. Because kids have to respect their parents. If they don't, you'll never have any influence on them if they don't respect you. But then we come to the other extreme, too much discipline, no love, then they're just rigid, depressed, and, depression's an issue for kids nowadays in the first place because, you just hear a lot about, the stats of teen depression and, you hate to hear about, kids, cutting themselves, that kind of thing, and it's just really, really sad to hear about. And, not saying too much discipline is the cause. Everybody struggles with stuff, but I feel like the biggest thing is, like I said, biggest thing is falling off even while you're holding shift. Biggest thing is you gotta discipline the kid when they do something wrong and reward them when they do something right. When they do something right, just bring a lot of attention to that. You're like, oh man, that was so great. And when you use that positive reinforcement, it just encourages them to do more of that. It's like that in a relationship too. A lot of times people just get so fed up with things that they're bothered about with their significant other and just focus on that. But when they do something that you like, just say, hey, that was really nice. Show your appreciation. Okay. Boy, oh boy, we need more planks. Okay, let's get more planks. And another thing too, as far as the discipline, kids need discipline as far as what they eat too. It's tough because man, you hear all the stats about childhood obesity and all that stuff, and it's sad because an overly obese child has a lot of work to do to become healthy as an adult. So, you got to be disciplined with their actions, what they eat, and at the same time, love them. Go to their sports games, encourage them, tell them they're smart, they're funny. Play with them, play sports, play board games, video games, whatever. Have fun with your kids. Um, but another thing that I feel is important in parenting, which sometimes it's just really tough, and a lot of people go through this. Oh man, we're gonna need more. Let's just go with it. But if you can stay together with your spouse, and that's a tough one. I hear the divorce rates at like, I don't know, 50% or so, which is kind of high. And nothing against anyone who's gotten a divorce. I know sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Sometimes it's the last thing you want, and there's nothing you can do. But if there is something you can do, if you can work on it and try to work through it, it just goes a long way with kids, because divorce is hard on the couple, and it's really hard on kids too. But not to say if you do get a divorce, the kids won't turn out well. That's not the case at all. But it's just hard. It's just hard for them to deal with. I've just heard of, some people feeling like they're responsible for it, that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm just reading Red Eye's thing. But yeah. So, I hope I don't offend anybody by saying it, because I got nothing against anybody. If you have been through a divorce, I know a lot of people go through it. It's a tough thing, but and it goes without saying. If you're having a hard time, of course you're gonna try to work through it. So that's another thing that can help. But probably most of the people watching this aren't even close to being married, having kids. But why not hear it early? Why not just get a little exposure, get prepared? Why not be prepared? Yeah. And another thing, speaking of being prepared, when you find out you're gonna have a baby, why not read some books? Read some books, watch some videos on, best practices for being a parent. Why not? Some people might find it hard being a good parent if they weren't raised well themselves. But I don't think that's a prerequisite. It would help. It definitely helps if you were raised well as a child. Because you can easily emulate your parents and that kind of thing. But some people come from some pretty rough backgrounds, and they're like, man, I don't even know how to be a good parent. I didn't have one growing up, so I don't know how to do it. But I feel like a good example is my grandpa on my dad's side. Man, his father, which would have been my great grandfather, they came from Iraq, and things are done differently there. So, not saying everyone's like this, but unfortunately, my grandpa lived in a house where his father never told him he loved him. Would wouldn't really give him any attention unless he did something wrong, and then he disciplined him pretty harshly. He never saw him hug his mother, and um, it it was tough. But my grandpa turned out to be an amazing father to his kids. My dad and my dad's siblings. Really quick, Spiky Sarge said he put some glowstone in here. I don't got glowstone, so we're gonna have to go to the Nether for that. But this is it. This is finished. That was fast. But yeah, so my grandpa became a great father, and it's just an example that you don't have to have had amazing parents to be a great parent yourself. You're not always a product of your environment. It's more difficult, but you can overcome it. My grandpa's a pastor, and when he was in the Navy, he ended up reading the Bible and becoming a Christian. So he gives all the credit to God being his father. So, like I say, it's an example that you don't have to have a good, parent on your mom or dad's side to become a good parent. So, man, that looks nice. Holy moly, Spiky Sarge, you got something going there, man. I'm thinking we could do different kinds of wood too. Like, that's just the template. Like the floor and the ceiling could be a different color, or the posts. Maybe put in the comments what you think. What do you think would be a good combination of wood? But I'm loving that. We'll get those cows in there. I'll probably do that off screen because, man, moving those cows is not fun. But yeah. But anyway, guys, we talked about parenting today. It's a little different, but it's just something I wanted to talk about. One of the goals when I started my YouTube channel was to help people's lives, and I want to give some advice from things I've learned in life, things I've learned from other people, and share it with you guys. So from time to time, I just want to share stuff like this. Like, it's not super funny, but you could get some benefit out of this. So, every video is not going to be like this. So, but I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Did you enjoy talking about parenting? Like, would you like to talk about life like this more? Let me know. Let me know what you think. But in honor of Corrales, we're gonna throw some bushes in here, and this would look better with fancy. Maybe I'll switch it over real quick. If we got some flowers, that'd be pretty cool. Let's switch over to fancy. Oh, baby. Whoa. We're swimming. Video. Fancy. Don't crash. Don't crash. Alright, let's see how this looks, guys. Oh, yeah. That looks nice. That is not bad. Maybe some different bushes, too. Maybe some flowers. Maybe some flower pots or something. I don't know. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. I wish it weren't raining, but what are you gonna do? But guys, let's call it a day. Let's call it a video here. Like I said, let me know what you think. If you liked it. If you like it, maybe even hit the like button. But we're gonna finish with a nice view of the new cow farm. I'll probably just move them off camera, like I said. But guys, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.